I grew up in Paducah in far western Kentucky. I first attended Indiana University. I left Indiana and came to UK. I never left. I met my husband-to-be while I was at the university, and we married as soon as I graduated. How we bonded really was on our very first date. He pulled out a tape of show tunes. I was hooked right then. I feel passionately that no child should be left out of trying to express himself through the arts, whether it's music, whether it's drama, whether it's writing. You just don't know about what will turn on a kid to something that they'd never thought of before. My very first experience was singing in a little choir, not a church choir, but a little choir that we had at our school in the 3rd grade. My parents were very musical. My mother had been a public school music teacher before she had children. They wanted to give us every opportunity that they could give us to study whatever it is we wanted in the arts. Everybody who wants to see Lexington thrive and grow has to become aware of the fact that what the biggest seller is are their cultural activities for people to do, for people to take their children to. Well, back in the 70s, downtown was looking pretty bad, and so Lexington had gone through an urban renewal change. A board was established to build something in that space, and I found myself on that board as the arts representative. The Opera House had been closed by the fire marshal and would be demolished. My husband, who was very supportive of my being on the Lexington Center board, came in that night, and I said, "Do you know anything about the Opera House?" And he said, "Yes, I used to go there as a kid, and I always held my feet up because of the rats that ran across the building." I said, "Well, I'm going to find out who owns it." And so the next day I called Mayor Pettit, and he said, well, it happened that the man who ran the Opera House lived next door to him. I gathered a group of people from Transylvania and from UK and people involved with the arts, and we got a tour. After much soul searching, I was able to convince the board of the Lexington Center that we should purchase the Opera House. I think it was kind of the romance of thinking about that and restoring an older building that had meant so much to a lot of people. I dressed in costume, and I would give tours, sometimes 2 a day, of the Opera House, talking about its potential. My husband George and W.T. Young formed a committee that then became the Opera House Fund, and they went out and raised $1.5 million to purchase the lot next door, which had been a laundromat, and that is how the porte-cochere and the Short Street entrance came about. It just evolved into our mission, which was to support the programming in the Opera House by local arts groups. We do contribute through the Opera House Fund monies to do all the necessary things that an old building needs. So we aid the Lexington Center in those endeavors. Jobs, of course, are a big concern, but the arts provide so many jobs. We have to support the arts. We have to support people who put themselves out there to get on a stage or to paint a painting. It just means everything to me, and I think it means everything to our city. The benefactor is kind of a big word for someone who may give $10, $20 to an organization, but we're all benefactors. That's why it is so important, not only to show up, but to give. Give what you can give. It will make us all a brighter, richer community. That's what's so important to me.
Creating sparks through the arts, arts connect, connecting us.